I believe that there are many different reasons that people decide to finally take their own life. And more often than not, it's a combination of things. For myself, for a long time, I believed I wanted to. I was sometimes uncontrollably sad and felt ashamed to express myself about it. I felt like no one wanted to hear me complain, so I never took the chance to really express myself. Naturally, I began drinking and smoking weed regularly. I had experienced bullying at a young age, even teased for a long time, and felt so lonely. I almost broke a kid's nose in elementary school. I came from a broken home without ever having felt a sense of love that I still long for. The arguments and tension between my parents constantly affected myself and my siblings. Despite my mom having done an incredible job trying to raise us in a healthy and safe home, we were always low income and things never felt easy. I found myself feeling alone and alienated most of the time. People never really reached out to me, even those who acted like they were trying. Due to that, I usually found myself being the one to reach out, and as I developed better friendships and bonds with people, I found myself being that person more and more. When I got big enough as a child, I wasn't really bullied anymore. I was now able to stand up for myself and develop some self-esteem. One of my oldest and closest friends, Mike, was being teased and bullied when we were kids, and I stood up for him that day. That was the start of a 20-year friendship. Once that happened, I reached out to others more and more, to those who were struggling. That has remained consistent even till this day. When high school came around, I started to make some new friends. Most people had their cliques, but the only clique I had were my close friends who didn't have a clique. You could say we were the outcasts. Most of the friendships that had formed up to that point came from a moment or situation that involved me reaching out to someone when I felt I could be of use. The things I had in common with my friends were the struggles we endured in and out of school. Being there for each other was what bonded us. Some of my friends at the time began writing me letters at school, and I would respond. I still have them now. They would reach out to me about their personal struggles and issues on a regular basis. For 3 of my friends, their biggest issue was that they were being drawn to the idea of committing suicide. They confided in me, and having been dealing with the same thing, I felt equipped to talk to them about it. I tried my best to help at the time, and I'm happy to say that they are still around. I can take credit for trying to help, but they ultimately faced their own struggles head on and succeeded. All I did was try and be there for them. The thing is, I was missing one integral part of the equation. They had someone to be there for them, and I never really had anyone. It didn't help that I wasn't very good at expressing my emotions or sharing my struggles. As strange as it may seem, helping them carry their burden helped me keep going for a long time. I got older, and trying to build my own self-esteem seemed to be getting nowhere. The drinking became worse, the drugs got stronger, and I had friends who were present nearly the whole time. My sadness stayed with me, the sense of loneliness stayed with me, but so did my personal drive. I continued to always be available for friends and acquaintances to talk about anything and everything. I moved out young, so I always had a safe space for people to express themselves and try to feel safe. As the drugs got weirder and more intense, I started to really embrace my sense of introspection. Then I read a book called The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda. In that book, Don Juan explains to Carlos that drugs, especially psychedelics, are not made to be dependent on. They're made to be a tool or an ally to help us have a better understanding of things we long to understand. And I took it to heart. When I was a child, I had a dream that I will always recall. I was sitting in one of my classes as usual. I opened up my desk to find a pencil case full of Hot Wheels cars, and I was immediately excited. I had so much fun playing with them during class that it felt like a lifetime. But when I woke up, they were all gone. I was heartbroken to wake up and find out that I couldn't bring them with me. Reading the book at the time allowed me to see my drug experiences in a new light. I started to treat my psychedelic experiences as tools. I remembered the book and that dream as a child, and I realized that they were one and the same. I could never keep what I had, like the Hot Wheels or the high on drugs. What I could do was bring back the knowledge and experience from when I was there. From then on, dreams and highs became so much more important to me. They truly became a part of my personal growth. One day I was very high on MDMA on a beautiful summer day with two of my oldest friends who had never done it before. I told them all about it many times, and they finally felt safe enough to do it, asking if I could help. At some point, we found ourselves out in the balcony of my apartment, just feeling the breeze and the heat and the sun on our skin and our closed eyelids as we drifted away. And we were so immersed in that timeless moment. That's when it all became clear to me. That moment alone was worth having lived all of the bad moments. No matter how sad or alone I felt, there are some moments that stand true to the test of time. And I began to appreciate those moments for all they were. And now this is where my answer finally came. It's all about appreciation. Always has been. Appreciation for myself. Appreciation for others. Appreciation for the world around me. Appreciation for all of my experiences, good and bad. That day I had a moment of clarity and finally made up my mind. I decided to never kill myself and to always look back on the good times to keep me going. always look back to those moments with appreciation. I've been very different ever since then. The struggles remain, but so do the moments that I continue to have now and again. Moments that will truly stay with me forever. Even if you are still having trouble appreciating yourself, you will always have some people in your life and moments with them that you will share, moments that stick around. And if you truly want to appreciate them, you will have to live on as long as possible, seeing as their legacy is part of you now. People that you love and admire, those you appreciate, may and will die before you. You have been trusted to hold those memories of them, those moments that you will look back on. One day you will be gone, along with those moments, and those who reside in you will be gone too. One of my closest friends took her own life, and I understand that we are all trying our best to make it, and it's never easy for any of us. I truly wish she could have understood or seen it the way I did. I wish she truly knew how much she was appreciated and how much she deserved to be appreciated. Now that she's gone, it only strengthens that idea. I can be trusted with the responsibility of showing my appreciation for her and many others for as long as I live. Sometimes we do it for ourselves, and sometimes for others. But what's important is that we do it. I did it for others, and in turn did it for myself. Ultimately, I decided that I would stick around instead for as long as I can. And I will always stand by that decision. I want you to decide the same forever, and maybe in turn we can help others make that same decision.
Hey guys, we're Sapien Pictures. I'm Alex.
This is Jana here.
Together we make short films and we have a few series. Our first one was Camp Blood, which is a horror series. Our second one is called The Things We Say, which speaks about difficult issues in life, ideas pertaining to people, relationships with oneself. So this is our first episode called Letter About Suicide, and it's about suicide, and it was actually inspired by a message Jani had with a friend.
So essentially, a friend of mine had posted an Instagram story asking people's opinion about depression and suicide. So I proceeded to send him a message talking about my own personal experiences, with depression and suicide, and it really, happened to be a good idea for us to use for our drama series. So I approached Alex with the idea, and he seemed interested. And we had also lost a close friend a couple of years ago to suicide, and I think partially that's what inspired us to want to make this as well. Essentially, that was the background of where this all came from.
Yeah, so the point of this film in the end is how Jani came to the realization on how he chose to live instead. Whereas, so you could take your life, but in the end you should choose to live. And our friend Marissa who took her own life was in reality surrounded by a lot of people that actually cared about her, even though in her mind she felt she was alone, she was trapped, she was depressed, and ultimately took her own life. And we just wish she could have seen it another way, to ultimately live for the friends, for the people. So we hope that this film will inspire you or someone that you know who may be depressed or battling with suicidal thoughts to ultimately choose to live.
And we also wanted to mention that, because this is my own personal story, and it was, really fueled by alcohol and drugs for quite a while, I did manage to take my own path and actually use the drugs in a positive way to help me understand what I didn't understand so that I could essentially get better mentally. But we just wanted to clarify that we in no way, condone people to think that drugs are the ultimate solution to help you with your problems, and that if you do need help, then you need to seek it. It's very important. Don't think that you can just take drugs and solve all of your problems. So we hope that this essentially inspires you to, live a better life and strive for happiness and to be happy and to seek help if you need it.
Definitely, we really appreciate you watching our film. If you're a fan of it, please like it, share it, subscribe, and we hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.